Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
That's it. What's up? That's it, people. What's up? This is the Boxing Breakdown, and I am your host, Mark Roxey, and I'm excited that you're here with me today, and I have a fantastic show for you. I have been trying for months to actually get this interview with Teofimo Lopez and their camp. And I am so grateful and so happy that I was able to actually speak to the team and Teofimo Lopez Sr. What I'll tell you is the reason I'm so grateful is because these guys are busy. They're super busy and they're up to amazing things. They are preparing for the October 17th mega bout. What I would call a mega bout anyway is Lomachenko versus Lopez. Vasily Lomachenko is 14-1 with 10 KOs. And Teofimo Lopez is 15-0 with 12 KOs. And for those of you out there in Boxing Breakdown land, you know this fight, I've been talking about it episode after episode, and I was nervous that the two wouldn't make the financial negotiations, that the negotiations would stall over money, of course, and that the fight wouldn't take place. And I expressed that concern, and the great news is that the fight is going to happen. And not only is the fight going to happen, but these guys are in camp now, and Teofimo Lopez and his team are working super hard. And while I hope to be able to get Vasily Lomachenko on the Boxing Breakdown in the near future, this episode is dedicated to Teofimo Lopez. And let me tell you why. You're going to hear the interview shortly. And I just want to tell you why I'm so pro Teofimo Lopez. Number one, he's the real deal, man. I mean, he's a hard-hitting power puncher who's a thinker. He can box. He's got incredible boxing skills. His dexterity is absolutely incredible, and his timing is impeccable. He just has so many facets of his within his arsenal, and many of those facets haven't even been able to be displayed. And I am super pro Teofimo Lopez for this fight. And I've said that on a number of occasions, although I admire and respect greatly Vasily Lomachenko's skills and what he brings to the table. I tend to go with the underdog. And I think that Vasily Lomachenko is one of the most technical fighters of our generation, and he certainly built up a reputation for making his opponents quit early in the fight. And so this is a real fight. And the naysayers out there and the odds are supposedly against Teofimo Lopez. I don't get it because I study and I look and I can see things in this matchup that makes this fight super compelling. And I don't want to give away what I think is going to happen just because I want to be fair fair to both, and I certainly don't want to give away the advantages that I see that Teofimo has in this fight going into this fight. But I do see advantages, and you've heard it here on the Boxing Breakdown, first by yours truly, Mark Roxey. So, look for October 17th and look for this incredible matchup. So Teofimo Lopez, just a little background on this prize fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a world champion. Lopez was born on July 30th, 1997 in Brooklyn, New York, to the son of Honduran immigrants. Right. So basically what I mean by that is he is from the BK. Shout out BK. I love you. But he is from Brooklyn, but he's born the son of Honduran immigrants. And basically, Lopez won the U.S. Olympic trials back, a very long time ago. But Carlos Baldemir had already secured the United States lightweight entry into the tournament as the AIBA World Series of Boxing champion. So Lopez was aware entering the trials that at best he could only qualify as an alternate for Balderas, who lost in the Olympic quarterfinals. Lopez was able to qualify for the Honduran team where his parents are actually from. And he received he reached the finals of the Olympic qualifying tournament for the Americas to earn his place in Rio. Lopez also won the 2015 National Golden Gloves. Lopez competed in the American lightweight event at the 2016 Summer Olympics, representing Honduras, where he was defeated in the tournament, but by the eventual silver medalist, Sofian Umiha. I don't know if I said that name right, but I think it's like Uma Iha. Anyway, Lopez is signed with Top Rank, and he signed with Top Rank in October of 2016. And Teofimo made his professional debut on the undercard of the Manny Pacquiao and Jesse Vargas fight in November of that same year, 2016. So, this guy, all I can tell you, if you've watched him, you already know. If you're involved in boxing at all, you are going to watch this fight. I know that. It is on ESPN. It is not a pay-per-view fight, which, I'm sure if it were a pay-per-view fight, it would have been worth, so much more money for the fighters. And but I will tell you this, that Teofimo Lopez is not going anywhere. After this fight, he may be moving up to 140. I'm pretty sure he's going to move up to 140. And when he gets up there, at the 140-pound division, he's going to do some amazing things up there. And you're going to hear a little bit about that in the interview with Teofimo Lopez Sr., who was super gracious. I love these guys, man. I'm not going to mince my words here. I'm going to tell you that I am super pro Teofimo Lopez, and I'm proud to say that. And whether he's an underdog or not, this is must-see TV. Stay tuned. Also, Teofimo Lopez, man, he's calling out everybody. He called out Devin Haney. He's called out all of the 135-pounders. They all have supposedly excuses for why they don't want to fight. And, what's the guy going to do? He's got to go right to the top. The guy's not asking for a tune-up. He's not asking for anything. He's going right out there. Quarantine or no quarantine, no excuses. He's going out there to basically do something that has never, ever been done before. So check it out. Check out this interview without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Harold Hunt, professional judge, to the program. And I will follow that with an invitation for Teofimo Lopez Sr. to join the program. And with that, let's get started. All right, people. Yes, is this Teofimo Lopez Sr.?
Yes.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Mark Roxey from the Boxing Breakdown. What's going on?
Everything's fine. How can I help you?
Oh man, it's good to hear your voice. So,
Nice.
Yeah, how's everything going?
Everything's going amazing. Everything's going great.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Is it still the is it still the takeover?
Of course it is, man. Come on. You already know.
I was going to say it's going to be in a minute. It's going to be the domination.
Oh man, this is the biggest fight in boxing history. This is for the whole 135 belts, all the belts.
Yes.
Nobody has done it, man. My son's going to be the first.
Yeah, man. I know. And you know me, I've been following you guys for forever, and I am a huge fan. I just believe in your team, and I believe in what you guys are doing. And I'm just super delighted that I get a chance to talk to you for real. And I have a professional boxing judge who's my co-host from time to time on the Boxing Breakdown. His name is Mr. Harold Hunt. I'm sure he wants to say what's up.
Hey, yeah, no problem.
All right, let me throw him on. Here he is. Yo, Harold Hunt. Harold, you there?
Yes, sir.
I got Mr. Teofimo Lopez Sr. on the line. Say what's up.
How you doing, Harold? Everything good?
Everything good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Just resting a little bit today.
Yeah.
You know, we start everything back again on Monday, so we're just taking a little rest. You know, but he's looking amazing. He's already on weight. Everything's coming out perfect.
He's already on weight? Oh,
well, yeah, you know where we're supposed to be at.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know,
that doesn't surprise me.
He's only like 13 pounds over right now, 12.
Wow.
So we'll be able to make the weight on time. Thank God. That's not going to be an issue. So, and he's motivated. There's nothing that the other guys he knew he could beat. This guy, he knows he could beat.
Oh man.
He's very motivated, and he just wants to shut everybody up. This is the opportunity. When they give him opportunities like this, he wants to shine.
Oh man.
You know, especially everybody's going against him. You know, a lot of people saying that the odds are 3-1 right now, something like that. So, so that's great.
Yo,
that's great for us. You know, it's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And listen, you heard it right here on the Boxing Breakdown. I've had conversations with Harold Hunt. We've talked about Vasily Lomachenko, and we've talked about Teofimo Jr. And I'm going to just say it right now, man. I'm going to say, if my educated eye tells me what, in breaking down the film of the two fighters and really, really looking at what is available, I think I see it. So, I'm going Teofimo Lopez all the way. I'm just telling you right now. And I'm sorry, Vasily Lomachenko, but what is so is what's so. And, I'm with you. So if the odds are against Teofimo, I don't know what people are looking at. I really don't.
Yeah. But that's what separates us from the rest of the people. You understand? We're in another world. We're in a world that we can see everything. And people in the world, they can't see nothing, and that's to our benefit. That's why we're rising so high, because people look at us and they say, they just don't want to believe that this kid is that good. You know, that's the only thing I think about. Or maybe they hating him. Maybe they want other kids to make it before him. I don't know what it is, but the hate is real, man, and they keep on making these mistakes, man. It's for our benefit. I know what I got, and I know what I see, and I know what he could do. And everything that they're saying that my son can't box, that's why we're going to win this fight.
Mr. Lopez,
Go ahead, Hiram.
Mr. Lopez. Okay, for the sake of this podcast, the fans are going to want to know certain questions I'm going to ask on this side. I'm going to be the other side for right now. So please don't take it personal, sir.
I don't mind.
Spirit, and I want you to be able to explain to the fans what you see versus Lomachenko. So my first question to you is, it's been said that Lomachenko has a great skill set, stepping around, moving, making adjustments. What type of, without giving away your game plan, what type of adjustments were you guys able to make to offset some of his skills?
Listen, man, Lomachenko's a 126 pounder, okay, first of all. Second of all, if you go and run up all of my son's videos, my son doesn't let nobody get close to him, okay? So, and that's the only thing that Lomachenko could do. He has to be in range to touch you up, man. That's not going to happen. And when he finds out that's not happening, the whole thing is going to switch. And when he feels my son's pop, the fight is going to be beginning of the end. I'm telling you what I know, and I know that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. If you go back, look, any educated person in boxing, if you look at the film and you take a look, I'm just going to point out a couple of things. If you look at the the Magdaleno fight, you'll see what's available. You'll see what's available in that fight. You can see it, and then you can also see the same thing that's available in the Comey fight. If you know what you're looking for, you'll see it. Those two things, you'll see why Teofimo Sr. is saying what he's saying, and I tend to agree with it. You heard it right here because I think you know what I'm talking about, right, Senior?
Of course, but people can't see it. They're blind.
They can't see it.
You know. And I'm telling you, that night it's going to be a beatdown. I mean, my son has never, ever been in trouble in any round since he started boxing. I don't even see him losing one round in any fights, you know, just because of what people think. I know what I see. And Loma's not going to be able to hit him with those T-Rex hands neither. You know, he's got to go on the inside. And trust me, we got something for him when he does. You know,
yeah.
People don't understand.
Okay, I appreciate it. Did you add anything in particular, or you just use the skill set you already had and kind of tighten that up, or did you add anything for Lomachenko?
The thing is that people in boxing don't understand. My son, when he goes in there, he finds a way to adapt as soon as possible. Once he adapts, everything that we've been doing in camp, he'll remember. Every styles are different. You know, and we can't teach him anything about this style except for the guy being southpaw, but that's about it. And teaching him how he moves and what he does and all that stuff. Well, he's gonna have a game plan. Once he gets adapted to Loma, the fight is over.
Senior, sir, does your son fight southpaw with the foot on the outside, or does he fight southpaw with the foot on the inside so he can use two hands?
We listen. His style is way different from anybody else. We don't do that. We don't work on looking at somebody's foot. We work on the angles and where the person's at. You know, we don't look for that foot thing. You know, it's just, you know. My son loves southpaws, man. We show you what we could do to southpaws when we fought Diego Magdaleno. So basically it was an easy fight for my son. He loves southpaws. He loves them.
Not only does he love southpaws, you could tell he loved southpaws when he was throwing that beating in that fight. You can also see that he can fight on both directions. It doesn't matter where his feet are. That's one of the things that I noticed.
Exactly.
I noticed it doesn't matter where he is, whether he's walking off and he's fighting on to the right or he's fighting to the left. It doesn't really matter because he's
always out of range.
He's out of range, and he's got a punch selection that is a very complicated punch selection to defend when you're trying to get shots off, when you're trying to come into the pocket and get shots off. It's not an easy, and you're dealing with two fighters. Both of them have high levels of dexterity, but you have to ask yourself whose dexterity is more, like who has more physicality and more dexterity in the ring. And if you study the two fighters, you'll see, there's some color, there's some theater in boxing on both sides, but Senior, you already know what I'm saying here. Harold, did you?
I'm asking basic questions. I'm asking questions that the casual fan, the unpurist fan, that they ask.
Yeah.
And it's great that you're able to answer these questions. They may be elementary to you, Senior, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, I think.
Know the basic questions that you can answer so they can hear how it really is, not what they speculate. That's why I got to trot out these questions just so you can answer them so people can understand clearly what the game plan is from you and your son.
Yeah, whatever Lopez is bringing, we're ready, man. That's all I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
we're ready for it.
And what I want to know, Senior, is so obviously, the 130-pound division is not the future for you guys. Obviously, you're going up to 140, and who are you guys looking to work? Who are you looking to go against at 140? Who's out there?
The best. If by the time we get there, there's only one person, we fight for all the belts.
Wow.
And he'll unify two weight divisions and real quick within 18 fights or 17 fights.
Wow. Well, I remember there was an interview where you were predicting what the future was going to hold for Teofimo Jr., and you made a comment that he was going to get one belt by the time he was at 15 fights, and he was going to have all the belts by the time he had 16 fights, right?
Correct.
I remember.
And that's exactly what's happening.
It's exactly what's happening. That's what a lot of the naysayers don't really see, that there's some sort of intellectual foundation around what you're saying, what you're predicting. So I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what it is that gives you the confidence, other than, he's an amazing prize fighter. What is it that gives you? What is it that you see as a coach, as his chief second in the ring? What is it?
Well, all I see is he's possessed with this. He loves the boxing, and let me tell you something. This kid, he could do it all. So that's why I know him since he was a little boy, 6 years old. The way now, I always knew he was special. He could fight way different than anybody else. So his style is unbreakable. I mean, I don't see nobody beating him anytime soon. For a very, very long time.
Yeah, and a lot
maybe he comes out of undefeated. Huh?
So what did you teach him first? What was the first thing you taught him?
Footwork. That's why you got to teach every kid that you start in boxing footwork. A lot of footwork.
When did you know that you had something? When did you know that?
When he started beating up a lot of world champions at the age of 13, the way he was doing it was just unbelievable. So basically that's why he's where he's at. He's this kid where everything that he lands, everybody could see it. He's a clean fighter. His punches are crisp and clean, and and that excites the crowd, man. They've never seen nothing like that before. He's like watching a movie when you go in there and see him.
Yeah, for sure. Not only that, he has the pyrotechnics to go along with it. He has the crowd appeal, and he's certainly bringing fans to the sport that otherwise would not come. He's drawing a lot of attention with the younger crowd, and a lot of younger fans are starting to follow him, and it's really, really quite polarizing to watch. Yeah,
but I mean, it's exciting because people are going to end up finding out that what he's doing there is like an art. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But they're gonna get to see so much of him, then they realize they're gonna see how he does it and how he's moving and why he's doing this to do that. He's like a book in there. When he goes in there, he's thinking, not about fighting, alone. He remembers every reaction the other fighter makes, and when he makes it, it's so hard to to explain. And he knows he could read when you're gonna throw a right hand or a left hook or a jab.
Right.
So all those things make him freaking amazing, makes him great, you know.
Yeah, his reflexes sure are. His reflexes and his counterpunching is something to really, if you study boxing, or if you're really a fan of boxing, you know, try to pay attention to the subtleties of what he's doing, because there's a lot of subtleties that you initially wouldn't see in his work. But you know, I mean, as the host of the Boxing Breakdown, one of the things that we do on the program is we break down fights and we talk about what it is that's happening on the inside of the sport, right? And that's you know, you can see it if you look really closely, you can actually see the skill sets that he brings to the table. And I would even go one step further to say that, you know, in that division, in the 135 division right now, there's a ton of fighters there that are trying to make their move up that. But I think they're all kind of waiting for Teofimo maybe to slide out of the division. What do you think about that?
In a way, yes, you understand, but we got to see what our options are. You know, I can't keep him in the same weight. He's been that weight for 7 years already. He's got to start growing.
Right.
You know, and I think he's going to do way better on with the bigger guys, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he could crack with them, you know? He hits really hard, so.
Yeah, speaking of bigger guys, I saw the fight against the Japanese fighter. And you guys made great adjustments with his length and his height, and he kept throwing that right hand. And I was impressed the way your son was able to get around that and still score. Did you have to change the game plan, or he just changed that inherently as he was in the ring? Or did you have to direct him on what to do with that? How did that fight come out the way it did?
Well, I wanted him to be in the inside more. He wasn't listening to me, you know, that night. And, you know, I just told him, listen, man, you're not listening, so just box the shit out of him. Don't get hit. And that's exactly what he did, you know. He won every round. You know, I never saw him in trouble in any other rounds in that thing, you know, in that fight. So, you know, I think the scores were okay, but I believe that was, you know, he just blew that guy away, which he did in the scorecards, but I didn't have him losing any rounds.
That was a great fight because I saw him make an adjustment. Usually he takes them on out, but this way he still dominated in a different fashion. So I was impressed with that.
Yeah, but Nakatani will take anybody out. Nakatani is not what people think he is. You know what I'm saying? Only because nobody's seen him out here. But that Japanese dude went in there strong mentally, and you know it cost him. It cost him because right after the fight, you know, they took him to the emergency room, and he's been having problems ever since. You know, that's why nobody hears of him no more. He took some really hard punches with my son, and it affected him.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. And then after that fight, you know, the next fight that really shocked, I think it shocked the entire boxing community. It certainly shocked me to see how he took Richard Comey out so early. And he just, if you go back and look at his resume, he's just done that over and over and over again. The same thing. You know?
Yeah, because the thing is that he's finding himself already. He was born for this, you know, so he's already finding himself, and he sees everything more complex, more simple than before. He could see the shots easier, you know, and he just don't have to worry about nothing else, but just keep on doing what he's doing, and he's gonna be amazing. He always makes up things, and they look beautiful.
Right. And so
does he switch? Does he go southpaw to right hand? Or he just, is that something that he does regularly, or just does it on the fly?
No, if he feels like, yeah, like if you saw him when he broke his hand with William Silva, he will sometimes turn southpaw because the hand was hurting so much. You know, but he could fight southpaw as well, but he'd rather fight right-handed.
Yeah, he did it in the Magdalena fight as well, but he did it. He wasn't hurt at all. He did it, and I mean, he just
to play around, you know, just to change a little change the atmosphere a little bit. So he'll do something like that just to, like, try to trick the other guy or whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. He's a scientist when he gets in there.
Just
My job is just to let him know where the other guy's weaknesses are, and if we already got to him, if we already adapted, I could see all that right away. So then that's what I let him know that whenever you want him, and it's there, and he'll just go for the kill.
listen, Senior. You think that if you guys when you guys win this fight, right? Do you think that you're going to get the Coach of the Year?
I really don't care if I get Coach of the Year or not, But if they do, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know what I got. I know what I see, and we're above everybody else, man.
Yo,
Mentally, we're above everybody else. People don't know what they're seeing. People think that my son is just a puncher there for a long time. Man, I even know what this guy's gonna do. He's just gonna try to outbox my son and try to run the whole night.
Right.
And then when he sees my son tired, he's gonna try to come in and expose him. You know what I'm saying? Beat him up and shit. But that's his dream if he thinks that's gonna happen. My son is not no Solito. My son is not gonna just jump in there and throw crazy punches. My son sets everything up.
Right.
You don't waste no energy.
No, that he doesn't. He's very efficient.
Yeah.
And how's the camp? How's the camp going? You got the same team in the camp that you've had for the last several fights? Is the same guys?
No, only for the last fight.
Yeah, so you got is Gamashi there?
The same people from the Nakatani and the Comey fight. Yes.
Oh man, oh my gosh. Well, that's very, very good news because that's an outstanding team. I mean, you got a really good team there.
That team that you brought in. Go ahead.
Is it the team? No, it's the same team that he's had. It's not a team that he's brought in. Right. They've had the team, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So at 140, right? This fight is done. You've got the 3 belts. You've unified the 3 belts, right? And then you go up to 140.
No. We unify the 4 belts.
The 4 belts. Okay.
Yes. This is history in the making. Nobody's ever done it at 135.
4 belts. 4 belts.
And we're getting the ring magazine belt as well. So it's going to be 5.
5 belts. That's never been done
that
before?
Night, yes. Well, the 4 belts for the WBC at 135, never. Nobody has ever won it.
Wow.
Nobody has ever unified all the 4 belts. So, I mean, for the 135 weight division.
Right, for the 135. I got that.
Yeah, like Crawford did it on the 140, stuff like that,
Right.
Okay, so I got the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and the Ring magazine, right, sir?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, and when's this fight? When's the fight going down for the Boxing Breakdown fans out there that are all going to tune in? I know when is this fight going down?
Yeah, don't miss it. It's going to be October 17th on ESPN for free. So
that
everybody can see it.
That is amazing to me. That's going to be a free fight. That is what an amazing. That's a blessing for the boxing community because I thought initially that was going to be a pay-per-view fight.
It should have been, but
Yeah, well, COVID-19, COVID-19, and we've all been through quite a bit here,
Correct.
Yeah, and how you guys doing? Everybody in the family's doing well?
Man, we all freaking excited. And, my son's just resting today, and we'll start camp. He still runs and stuff, but, the work starts again on Monday. We start the sparring session, so, I'll get to see how good he's looking.
Oh, yeah.
And, hopefully this is going to be a beautiful week coming up for us, I want everything to be positive. It's been positive up to now. Let's see how he does in sparring.
When you are sparring, when do you start to kind of slow down or temper the sparring down? And what's your routine going into the fight 2 or 3 days before the fight? Does the diet change? Does the sleep habits change? What do you do to get him optimum for fight night?
No, we'll do a couple of weeks of sparring, and then like about maybe 2 weeks before we do the last week before the week before the fight. So we will start sparring like maybe 2 weeks before the fight, and then we will go into just working on his speed and everything like that, cutting everything down, bringing everything down so he can start resting. And then when we get to fight night, the nutritionists take care of him. It's all about water, fat, and just and that's about it. Get rid of all the water so he can make the weight.
Yeah, he has no problem at that point making the weight, right? When he gets closer to the fight.
No, not at all. We only over like 12, 13 pounds right now.
Wow.
So, we've been worse, man. For the Comey fight, we wasn't this ready.
Right.
He's ready because remember, he was working out also for like 2 months, about a month before they called us.
Right. You guys.
So he was already fit, So once he started going back in, everything just started going away faster. So, but he's good. I'm so happy. My God, he's hitting like a beast. I've never seen him so strong in my life.
Wow.
Telling you, this fight is going to be crazy.
Mr. Lopez Sr., I read an article about your origin, you're Honduran, of course, and you were saying this is the first Honduran person to ever win the title. And they're going to have a statue and a national holiday for your son, something to that effect. And that was very impressive. How is the Honduran government? Are they supporting you? Are they in contact with you? Do they just, do you have insight with that government? Because obviously your son is one of their favorite sons. How are you interacting with the government or the country of Honduras right now coming up to this big fight?
They did come out and they told me they want to give him a prestige medal or something, that has never been given to any athlete in Honduras because there's never been somebody doing what he's doing right now.
Right.
And especially becoming the first Honduran world champion. When they found out, they started writing to us on Twitter and, Instagram and, invitations and everything. I mean, I could make it happen. I know the connections over there. I know the embassy and everything. They're very good friends of mine. And they told me, whenever I'm ready, just to let them know, but I don't think my son would like to do that.
Right.
That's something that if we go, we're going to go with somebody else that was running for president, which, I get in touch with him. They stole the elections from him. Salvador Nasralla, he was supposed to be the president of Honduras. So he's the one that's actually been helping us. And, we was about to go down there and show the belt off, and they were going to have like a big caravan of people there. And we ended up not going because of the COVID. So that stopped us. So, now we're telling them we're going to go with all 4 belts,
Wow.
Right.
So it's going to be even better.
So, Senior, I was going to tell you that, for the boxing fans out there, just take a listen to this, right? Teofimo Lopez is 15-0, no draws, 12 KOs, 12 wins, big wins by KO, right? And Vasily Lomachenko is 14-1, one loss with 10 KOs. When you hear these two fighters, a lot of times when you hear people talking about these two individual fighters, specifically Vasily Lomachenko, they really talk a lot about his level of experience in the sport. But when you actually look at it on paper, both of these fighters have very, very similar experiences. I wonder what your take is on that, Senior.
Well, actually, the experience is great on the Lomachenko side. He might have whatever they say more experience. I don't see it like that because it's how you grab that experience that makes you that great, that great fighter. We don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To my knowledge, it betters us off because he's been on the game longer than us. He's wear and tear right now. He's like a 33-year-old man on a 40-year-old man body because he's had like 400 amateur fights.
Right.
He's had a lot of injuries. My son has no injuries, only a broken hand,
Huh.
which is better now. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
knocking people out with that hand. So, to me, that doesn't mean anything because I think my son is way better than him. I think my son is more intelligent than him. So, but Lomachenko just looks for angles and tries to do his little show off with all these punches he throws. My son is a fighter that sees the killing and he will pop you with one. He knows where to hit it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Lomachenko is just trying to get lucky.
Yeah, no, I got that.
And I can't respect a fighter like that.
It was funny when when I text you before this call, this was a couple of weeks ago, and I said, so, what do you think about the fight? And your text message was like one line. I don't know if you remember what you said, but it was like, my son's gonna kill him.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was very powerful. I mean, to get that in all caps. To get that in all caps in a text message is like, damn, he's really confident. And I just wanted to piggyback on that because the critics, they don't let up, man. They don't let up on you specifically, right? It seems, that they're always, whenever Teofimo achieves, something in his career, they always come back to you as if, being a dad, as you're his father as well, like that's somehow a liability, when in fact it's the very reason that you have the level of skill that you have. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that, the connection between you and your son, and why he's achieved what he's achieved.
Well, basically, we came up with a plan, from the beginning that we was going to do this if he didn't get hurt. So he had to learn how to box. So we agreed on that. And then, I liked it a lot because every fight that we would have, he would never get hit, and everything went okay, So
Right.
basically we found out between each other that we could see things that nobody else could see in boxing. So we implemented those things. And, I used to see a lot of videos with him when he was 12, 13, and we looked at the greats and everything. And my son said, I told my son, yo, listen, you could be just like that, and then we would look at tapes of the people fighting. And we're like, oh my God, this guy's horrible. This guy's horrible. My son would see it, so basically that's what bonded us together. Is like, I could see things that he could see, that I could see. And we just click, when we're in that ring. The
Wow.
day of the fight, we know how to control each other's feelings, and we'll just talk about what do you see? And I said, oh, I see this, and then he'll come and he'll look at it and he'll execute. That's what makes us so special. Yeah. We know each other already.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like, the great pairings in the sport of boxing have many of them have come by the same way, through the same journey, and I just say, that, when they slight you in that, oh, his father, does a lot of the talking, what happens is you do the talking and then Teofimo, quote unquote, backs it up. And when I first heard that comment, I was like, what? No, come on. And then once you start getting into you see what he's doing, you do say it, and he does back it up.
Exactly. That's the way it's got to work, because we laugh at people because a lot of people are ignorant, they don't know what's going on, and they're just waiting for him to be like, like Floyd and shit so they could start believing them, but they, and they still doubted Floyd all his career. So I don't know what's going to happen between, from this fight and on, but they're always going to find a way to just try to badge us,
Yeah, for sure.
Senior, obviously you are a great coach. Do you think that you could possibly in the future, after your son attains all the goals, train another fighter? I would imagine other fighters, promoters have come to you with fighters they want you to possibly train in the manner you train your son. Will you be open to that, or will you only train your son?
Well, it depends. It depends. It depends on what we're gonna do in the future, and I could never knock that out. That I will never be one, but or train. Try to train somebody. I cannot say that, but let's see what happens. As of right now, I'm only interested in this fight, and my son's coming out victorious.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it makes perfect sense. The bond that you two have is I'm not sure that would ever be able to be replicated, to be honest. Like that's just
Yeah.
a powerful that's like a once in a lifetime, experience for both of you, for your son and for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is your favorite fighter besides your son, of course? Who embodies some of the qualities that your son has that you respect?
Well, it's a lot, because I just grabbed a couple qualities from each one. Like Andre Ward had a great jab. Like Mike Tyson had a great power punching power, and the way he used to execute it, and I'll study that, and Floyd Mayweather, his movements, stuff like that, and I will implement it on my son. So I did take a lot of fighters, even Sugar Ray Leonard. The last 30 seconds of the round, throwing a lot of punches, stuff like that. So basically, I just grabbed every little thing that I saw in the fighter that I could implement on my son. I will, give it to him, and that's how everything started coming out with the with him knocking everybody out, because I started implementing a couple of things on him that helped him. He always had it. I just had to bring it out on him.
So from your standpoint,
That's great.
what Senior, what do you feel is the best punch that Teofimo has? What is the best, most powerful punch he has?
Well, I always say the right hand, but that left hook is, oh my God, it's something else as well.
Yeah. What do you think, Harold?
Well, I've always liked the jab that he uses to get close. Comes in behind that jab and the counter punch when someone attacks, how he comes back with that counter punch. That's a beautiful thing, because I expect that power to reach that opponent and to see the opponent wobble. So that's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen, so it's good to see that coming.
Yeah, I would have to say that after looking at the film, that he has power in both hands. It's elusive, and the right hand, the rear right hand, and the left hook. They're all devastating punches. My favorite punch that he throws is that little hybrid 45-degree angle punch, the lead hook on the inside, and also the rear uppercut. I don't know if Harold, if you've gotten a chance to see that uppercut in the Magdalena fight, but that uppercut, man, that straight out of the box, right up the middle is. You said, that to me, Senior, that punch, that's like, you could put a bow on that one.
Yeah, but the thing is, that punch, he knew what was coming. He blocked it, and then he hit him.
Yeah.
So that made it so much sweet. And when you see it in slow motion, you notice what he exactly did. And those things are the things that people don't see, because he does them so fast, but he does that all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And what about, I mean, I guess I should ask Teofimo Jr. this, but I'm sure you'll know the answer because you trained him from scratch. How much of an influence is Bruce Lee in his training? Because I see a lot of Jeet Kune Do and what he's doing.
Oh, a lot. Because I always liked Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee will hit you while he was getting hit. So that will take you to another level.
Yeah.
If you're able to do things like that, there's no boxer in the world that can beat you.
Well, I can see, Senior, when I look at his film and I look at what he's doing with fighting off the hands, you can actually see that. You can actually see some of those cuts and some of the things that some of the directional shifts off the punches, like when the opponent throws a straight right hand, how he deflects that right hand and counters off that. Like you can actually see, I can almost see Bruce Lee in what he's doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Remember when he did that back? I think it was with Magdaleno. He hit him in the back, and then he went right to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very athletic right there. That was athletic.
That was like
that was a nice game.
That was like a sparring match. It was like what you see in sparring sometimes, two guys will be messing around and they'll whack each other, around the back and do all kinds of fun stuff. But that was a clinic. I mean, that was really a clinic, that performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Lopez Sr.
Yeah.
Question. Defensively, is there a particular defensive style you incorporated with him, or is it just the reflexes just to get out of the way and attack? Or do you actually use a particular defense? People have different styles and different techniques. Is it strictly his eye, and he can just simply get out of the way and not be hit? Or is there a technique that you taught him to defend himself as he attacks?
Exactly, and you see it in every fight. We don't need to be running. We don't need to be moving backwards or nothing. Everything that he's doing, he's catching and shooting, looking at you, making sure that you miss. Once you miss, he'll catch you. So he's in the pocket, you're not in the pocket. We call that the pyramid. And it's why you can't get inside and try to hit him. He'll hit you anytime he wants, but you can't hit him. So that's exactly what we're going to implement on this guy. He's not going to be able to touch him. So we're going to beat him box-wise, and then when he starts getting open, we're going to go for the big shots. He thinks we're just going to go in there and go running after him, He's in for a big surprise.
The pyramid. Oh, man. Is that your phrase, your phrase, or is that a particular style that's in boxing? Or that's something that you've named?
Yeah, but the thing is that everybody sees it because you look at my son's fights. You don't see my son. My son, nobody could hit him, and he's in the pocket. I mean, he's doing things in there that people got to look at what he's doing. He blocks every shot and he catches you. He's really fast, and then when he adapts to you, it's just a few more minutes before the fight is over. So. Basically, his defense is just amazing, but they don't have him as a good defense boxer. They got him as a brawler or something. I don't know what they got him as. Yet. It's crazy
because the story isn't written yet. Once
but it's good. But it's great for them to think like that. I love it. That means I'm ahead of I'm ahead of everybody because if they can't see that, I see things that nobody can see.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Is this okay?
Yeah, man. Listen, I just want to thank you for being on the Boxing Breakdown.
Sure.
Teofimo Lopez Sr., God bless you. Have a great time in training camp. We wish you all the success in the upcoming fight. And for those of you that are out there, just tell them one more time when the fight is.
The fight is October 17th. Don't miss it, man. It's gonna be the best fight in the world, and Teofimo versus Lomachenko, and don't go get popcorn or not, and have everything ready because you never know what could happen. So you don't want to miss it. All right.
The
takeover is real, baby.
The takeover.
You got it.
Thank you for being with us.
The takeover, baby. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go get it. All right. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Harold. And with that,
yes, sir.
With that, I want to thank you for being with us, man. My partner in crime here. We got Harold Hunt. I know the Boxing Breakdown fans out there enjoyed the podcast, and if you like the podcast, please do not forget make a contribution to the Boxing Breakdown, and you can do that at patreon.com/theboxingbreakdown. And Harold, thank you for being on the program again. Much love and peace. Enjoy your night. Boxing Breakdown fans, till next time, peace and love.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.